Have you been in a situation where you are scared of exploring new things? Like it feels very fearful to explore new opportunities or to go ahead with your gut and try something new. If you have been one of those people, then today's live conversation is definitely for you. Because our everyday game changer for our 21st episode of Let's Begin Their series is Harris Mirza, someone who loves to explore new things and he's not fearful or scared of trying new things out. He's also someone whose personality has been misunderstood by a lot of people for being very bold and extrovert, but he is genuinely very humble and is also someone who is very ambitious. He has a lot of aspirations in his life. We'll get to know a lot more about him on our today's episode, and we are inviting him now to join us. You go live with Harris. And yes, hi Harris, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am good too. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm happy to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Harris, I've just given a little bit just about you to people, but why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Well, that was a very nice introduction about me. Thanks, Tanya. About me, I am just a simple person, who lives his life. And when we talk about challenges, every day is a new challenge. Every day you wake up, there's new things that comes to your life. And I'm a person who just goes by the flow. One thing is that, like everybody else, I also do crib and cry about my issues, my problems and stuff. But there is just one little time to it. After that, I will be like, okay, now crying is done. Let's, just kick off those problems out of life. So just a simple person, who's living his life. I enjoy eating food a lot and quite a foodie.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy stand-up comedy. That's one of the things that I generally tell people that, laughter is the best stress buster. You should have that in your life. I enjoy stand-up comedy a lot, a lot. Really crazy about it.
Stand-up comedy.
I actually have a lot of favorite comedians. So Veer Das is one of my favorite comedians. I
Mm-hmm.
also like Trevor Noah. Um, who
He's
else?
my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm crazy about
Oh,
him.
oh, nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
good. Yes, he's actually nice. I've also liked John Oliver, Russell Peters. Everybody likes the Russell
Mm-hmm.
Peters, and a lot of comedians from the Indian stand-up comedy line. Uh, there's too many to name, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Harris, you did say that, okay, I'm just a simple person going with the flow. But you know how hard it is for a lot of people to go with the flow. So you're not just,
Uh,
it's not just a common thing.
yes, it is. It is difficult, and it's hard. It's difficult for everyone. It's difficult for me as well. But a very important thing that I have learned in some of my personal experiences, and that is, I see a lot of people, trying to be fit physically, and they do a lot of things to be physically fit, and it's important. Like you have to take very good care of your body, but at the same time, it's very important to be mentally strong. If you are mentally strong, most of your problems, most of your challenges, it's already won. Because it gives you that energy to fight your problems and challenges. Just being mentally strong. Yeah.
Just be mentally strong. And if I'm not wrong, it also takes a lot of downs to go through a lot of downs to then realize you are mentally strong. You know, you go through those ups and downs, and that helps you to build that kind of a strength in your head. Um, okay, we'll get to that part eventually.
Hmm.
But Harris, having shared with us initially that you have moved from Bombay to Toronto, and now you are in cybersecurity and an analyst. And when we were having a conversation, you had mentioned about opening, having your own coffee kiosk and everything. And you mentioned that you love to explore new things. You don't
Hmm.
fear that. So, having heard all of this, it comes to my mind that, and also something that you mentioned at the start of this conversation, that there are everyday struggles and everyone faces something or the other in their life. So what are some everyday struggles or challenges that you face in your life?
So I'll speak about a few things about my whole move from Bombay to Toronto, and how was my life before, and how life has changed, and how a lot of challenges did come across. Um, so when I was back in Bombay, I had a big social circle, and I always enjoyed being around my friends, and weekends were the time of my life. I would have so many friends going out, uh, to restaurants, to different places. I really enjoyed biking. I would go for a lot of bike rides. When I first moved to Toronto, for a couple of months it was nice. Like, when you move to a new place, it's a beautiful place. You enjoy everything about this place. After a couple of months, you start to miss back home. You start to miss your friends back home. You start to miss your family, your relatives, and you start missing out on so many things. And slowly I started to realize, so I did not come here to study. I wasn't going to school. uh, I, I I just migrated to this place, and for me, the one challenge was that because I wasn't going to a workplace from the beginning, I wasn't going to school, I wasn't meeting a lot of people, and my social life from 110 it came down to zero, and I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to go out with. There was a huge time zone difference between Toronto and Bombay. I I could speak very less with my friends back in India. But there is one thing which I realize is that always give time some time. You have to give time some time, and that is the only thing. And have some patience. Uh, I started to be very sad and depressed in life with having nobody around. But I just went sailing through. Like, I was very sad, very sad. But there was one thing which always told me that tomorrow would be a better day. Tomorrow would be a better day, and this is something which I strongly believe in my life. Is somebody is saying on the comments, no social life in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, well, eventually
Very good. She's Sharon's sister,
Yes,
Shalini.
I know. I did meet her once over here. Actually, I met her. I went for a stand-up comedy show. That was, I think so. It was Kenny Sebastian. We went for a show, and I met her there.
Nice. Interesting.
Yes. So, well, eventually I have found my social life in Toronto, but it takes some time. And yeah, definitely, people are not as warm over here as they used to be back in Bombay. Uh, People are, just busy with themselves over here. So that is one, and that is just about this place. But coming back to the thing is that with good things and bad things in life, it will always go up and it will come down. What goes up has to come down. What goes down will come up. So the good times will not always remain good. It has to have an ending, and it will end. And whenever there is bad times in your life, that will also end. It will not continue. The other thing what I truly believe is that life always give as much as challenges to you as much as you can take. It will never be too much or too less. It will be exactly as per your own capacity, and for a lot of reasons it actually prepares you for the challenges in the future, what you're gonna have challenges in the future. So a very good example I can say is that if I go, 15, 16 years back when I was in my 10th grade, SSC is the thing in Bombay. And like, when you're in 10th standard, it's like, oh, study, study, study. It's so difficult. And when we must be like, what, 15, 16 around that time when you were in
Yeah.
10th grade. At that time, 10th grade seems so difficult, right? You've gone through it, I've gone through it. It seems so difficult. But if you have to go back and do that 10th grade or the 12th grade again, what do you think about it? How are you going to feel about it? Exactly. Right? So it was just about the life was preparing you for challenges back then for the bigger challenges that's about to come in your life.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
from those 10th and 12th grade, I have seen job transformations, I have seen my career transformations in the beginning, and during that process you feel a lot nervous, you feel very much scared, like what's going to happen. So as I say that good times will again come back, like you will sail through your problems. The important thing is that what are the things that actually makes you happy, pick that up. And for that you have to be very carefully selecting certain things, because making a career switch or a transformation is not the challenging thing. If you start something and if you're focused and you're dedicated, you will get where you have to be. Like sooner or later you will get there. But for a lot of people, they do a lot of they go through a lot of hard work, and they are focused and everything, but once they get to that point, they feel that they're not happy, and all that hard work and everything, it wasn't worthwhile. uh, Over here I'm actually remembering one of the phrase that was spoken by one of the Indian Army captain. His name was Manoj Pandey, who was martyred in Kargil 1999. He said that some goals are so worthy that it's glorious even to fail.
Wow.
So it's such a beautiful line that some goals are so worthy that it's even glorious to fail. Like even if you don't achieve it, it's fine. But even to fail for that goal and be able to fight for that goal, it's beautiful.
To, yeah, to
And
just to try it, to experience it, and to just
yes,
attempt, and to just go ahead and try.
yes,
It is glorious in itself. Absolutely.
yes. But that is the thing that you have to know what is gonna make you that happy to fight for something. Um, One thing that I have realized when I was an equity broker back in Bombay, also as a cybersecurity analyst right now in Canada. uh, Either of the fields or most of the fields has something that's called risk analysis. We did financial risk analysis as equity brokers. I do a lot of technical security risk analysis as my current job. The important thing about the risk analysis, like you sit down and you analyze what are the what are the current risks in the present situation. um, what is the intensity of that risk? Is there anything, are there any mitigating controls, like what are the things that you can put in place to stop that risk? And at the end we decide if that risk is worth enough to fix.
Correct.
If not, then just accept it, like okay, fine, if this happens, it happens, it's okay. Sometimes it's too big of risk and you have to think about it. So doing a risk analysis even in your personal life, it's very important. Like you also have to, sometimes you also have to sit down and you have to self introspect about your past. What are the things that you did, and what probably would have been the current consequence if you're sitting down and you're thinking about taking on exploring new things or
Yes.
new challenges in life. Sometimes it's a thing that you're doing that because you're not happy with what the current situation is. Uh, so the beginning is self-inspect of your past. I generally don't think much about the past. I don't discuss people's past or my past much. But the only thing from the past that you have to understand is like learn from the past. What did you do in the past, and how that is applying in the present or the future situation.
Mm.
So you will understand that what were the mistakes that you did in the past, which is the reason why you're thinking about a new change in life,
Mm.
and you would want to avoid those changes. Then sit down and think about your present situation. Make an analysis of your present situation, that if you continue with this present situation, how good or bad it would be in the next couple of months or years. It's based upon, like, what you're thinking about.
Yes.
uh, on the other end, if you actually are to make that change, make that switch, then what's gonna happen? And so I'll give you an example. I started as information security auditor in Toronto, and I I coming back from the commerce background. I was like, oh, you know what? I still want to go back to that financial stuff, and probably, I want to get into financial auditing and stuff like that. And my manager, she was from that background, but she had also made her switch to the IT audit side. And a very nice person, a very nice person. She sat me down and she told me that it's a lot of hard work to go back where you're going, to the financial auditing side. Um, but this is what, so now this, she gave me an example of the monetary side. She's like, this is what you're making right now. If you go back to doing that, this is where you will be making, because there's more money into this field as compared to that field. And the place where you are right now is more towards the management side. It will lead you more towards the management side, and this probably after years and years it will just give you vertical growth. But the current field, there's no guarantee, or there's no such thing that it will give you vertical growth, but it would also give you horizontal growth, and that was absolutely true. So
Yes.
that was one of the analysis I did. I was like, yeah, if I want to grow vertically, I would grow sometime. Like after years and after experience, you will grow vertically. But if you want to grow horizontally with different spaces, different aspects of the information security stuff and so many things, um, that's where I decided that no, I don't want to make that switch. I don't want to explore into that field. So that's where I stayed back in this thing. Now the whole thing about this started that I like to explore about new things, and now I'm talking about I did not explore into something new. But if you have to see my life all the way back, from my university days to up till now, there has been so many changes. When I was studying, when I was in my university days, I played basketball. I played basketball for my university and district level.
You were
That,
also a basketball coach, Charis.
yes, yes, I was.
For a while.
I was, and I didn't. I think you did that in my coaching, right? And I was generally very passionate about whatever I did, and I was very particular about whatever I did. So from basketball, I did basketball coaching as well. At the same time, I think you guys don't wouldn't have known. Very few people know, but around that time, I also traded into pet fishes, dogs, and cats. So all of that was just for making some extra money during your university days. But at the same time, I really liked animals, like fishes, dogs, and cats. So I always liked to be around them, or do things with them. So that's how I started to do that. Once I completed my education, that's when first I started with as an equity broker. But before that, also, I I was a photographer as well, and I still do a lot of photography. I was a photographer as well. I did a lot of photography for my university. I did a lot of photography for a lot of events. Um, I remember it was 2010 or 2011. The first time I participated in a photography competition, and that was interstate university photography contest, and I won the first prize that time. The first time I participated, so that I can learn and I can explore more and I can see other people's work. But I never imagined that I'll win that prize. And that is also a very funny story. I got a call from somebody and they said that I won the prize. And I thought that, probably it's a consolation prize. And when I went to pick up my prize, I realized that, oh, it's a first prize, like it's a trophy I'm getting home. So I was very happy about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Um, After that, I actually gave up photography for a very long time. And just 3 years back, I again started photography. Slowly, it got a little commercial as well. I haven't been doing much commercially into photography as of right now. But I plan to do it more commercially in the next couple of years. It's just that my life has been too busy right now, but also exploring into photography. And in between, I had a small coffee kiosk. I ran a small coffee business uh, in Toronto. In between my job, once I wouldn't say that I owned, but I also helped somebody run a flower business, and that happened very well. That ran very well. That was one business which I saw that I created to organize and take it from one place to a different place. That was a very motivating factor in my life, and I was like, you just have to give time some time and be focused on certain things and make your analysis and make the right decisions in life.
Hmm.
Again, there are certain things when you end up making bad decisions. What do you do about them? When you make bad decisions, there are two things to it. There are one bad decisions where you can uh, drop it at some point and you can just go back. Like you need to understand that, okay, this is how much you are gonna put in hard efforts. After that, you're not gonna pursue this any further. Like this is it.
Okay, yeah, like setting a boundary or setting a limit to it.
Yes, yes. After that, you can just drop it and leave. Then there are certain things where you cannot drop and you can just go back. You cannot. And they can be different situations, different things. For example, marriage. Once you're married, you're married. Like you live through it
I'm
now.
so glad you reached there. This is
Well,
because Harris has been recently married, like he has signed the contract and the actual ceremony and everything will take place in March.
yeah.
So
Well,
he's
yeah, it's
almost
just
newly married.
yes, it's 15 days to marriage now. And I haven't been there that oh, it's a bad decision. What did I do or something? But yeah, but then there are situations like these, right? When you can't just drop it and be like, oh, sorry, galti ho gayi, I'll go back. You can't do that, right? Those are the situations. Then you again have to think what are the possible things, and that is a place. It's not just about marriage I'm talking about, but certain situations where you will have to think that what are the changes that you will have to do within yourself, or what are the things that you have to accept within yourself, and be okay with it. One important thing is that with changing life, changing situations, you also need to accept some realities. Certain things, certain bad things that happens, or certain bad thing that will happen to you and that will remain with you for the rest of your life. You have to accept that thing. You just cannot. The more and more you take your face away from it or ignore it, the more
Yeah,
you will take time to be okay with that situation.
true.
So
It's like
these are just
every time you try to avoid it, it will keep coming in front of you unless you have fully
yes,
accepted it. So
yes,
to get
yes,
past it, you need to accept it so that you're able to
yes,
move ahead.
yes. So the sooner you will accept your problems, the sooner you will be able to go to the next step or move forward.
Mm, absolutely. Okay. I thought the video was pausing in between. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm sorry. There was just a glitch.
Okay. So we began by asking, what are your everyday struggles, and you started sharing your story how you moved from Bombay to Toronto. And when you moved to Toronto, it was really, you are a very social person. You are an extrovert, and when you moved to Toronto, there was almost no social life. You
Hmm.
reduced from having 100 friends to almost having no friends. So you used to miss people in Bombay, and you were really missing
Yes.
that. And what you mentioned there was we need to just sail through it. You
Yes.
mentioned that we need to just sail through it, and not at this point, but at later when you were sharing your story, you had mentioned give time some time. I am stuck on that line. Give time some time. So basically, what you did when you reached Toronto, where you were feeling that okay, I don't have anyone I want to talk to or the socialize, you really gave that time some time, and you were sailing through. And while choosing or making any decisions, be it career shift or anything, you mentioned that it is about analyzing the risk. And just today, when I was in a coaching session, my client had mentioned that Chanakya, Chanakya had three steps or questions to consider before making any decisions or whenever you are planning to go ahead with something. And you have kind of mentioned that as well. So the three questions are, one is know why you're doing it, why you want to do something, even if it's a career switch, why you want to do it, or if you want to set up a business, why you want to set up a business. The second question you need to ask is, and I think that is what you were talking about, is also the risk analysis part. So Chanakya said that you need to know what the kind of risks involved in it. Are there chances of you going beyond that risk? Is it 60-40, 60% you win and 40% you lose? Is it 50-50, or is it 60% you fail and 40% you? Based on that, you make your decision. That is kind of what you said. Do the risk analysis.
Hmm.
See what is more important. And then you went a step ahead. Okay, the third thing that Chanakya had mentioned, then consider how, so that you can give it your all. Keeping that aside, then you mentioned in risk analysis, there can again be a situation that it is a win-win case, but there are different kinds of wins. One is a vertical growth, and the other one is a horizontal growth. So you need to see what works for you better at that point, the horizontal growth
Yes.
or
What do you
vertical growth.
want in life? Yes.
What do you want in life? And again, why you want that thing in life? Because that
Hmm.
is again going to be your motivating factor, your driving factor. Is again something that when you were talking about exploring different things, right? Again, that thing comes into the picture, why you want to do something. It's absolutely all right to change, uh, have so many options, explore new things, because that is how you learn. And like you mentioned, you
Yes.
tried that florist thingy in between, that made you realize you can actually take something and help it grow. You can, you know,
Yes.
bring an
Yes.
organization to a different level. And had you not tried that, you wouldn't have known that about yourself, probably.
Yes. Yes.
So it is about exploring new things, and about the photography event as well. You just randomly decided to go ahead with it, and what, you're back with an award. So how do you get to know all these things about yourself if you're not trying new things? And then even if you fail, you need to know that some goals, it is even glorious to fail for some goals.
Yes.
Yeah, it is powerful in itself to give it a shot and to realize, okay, this didn't work out. But then do your analysis, see what did not work out for you. Was it that you were really not interested and it just looked superficially perfect? Or is it that it was, yeah, so you just need to understand and do your analysis to even realize why something did not work out. And then
Yep.
move ahead, and instead of questioning
Uh-huh.
yourself. Yeah, so you have shared that your challenges were no social life, and then decision making as well. That at every step you had to make a decision and trying new things out on everyday basis as well. So, what are some challenges that you have overcome in your life, Paris, or you are in the process of overcoming? What is that one challenge?
Uh, that's a very broad question, actually. That's a very broad question because uh, there are certain challenges that I have overcome in life. There are a lot of challenges that I am still working on. Um, On my personal side, I have, so one thing is that you also, on your personal level, you also need to realize certain things about yourself, and acknowledging those things and realizing is a very difficult thing. Like, it doesn't just happen. Very recently, I have realized a couple of things about myself. Is that sometimes I don't listen to people. Sometimes, or like, you know what, most of the time I don't listen to people. I'm just listening to myself. uh, but now when I say that, and when you hear that, you will think that, oh, it's just a simple thing, like, he just doesn't listen to people. But for me, a lot of time I think that I am listening to people, but what I'm doing is I'm just hearing them out, and I'm not listening to them, what's happening. This is something what I have realized. And this is one challenge which I am working on right now, to understand at my level that where I am accepting what they are saying, and I'm trying to integrate into my life, or what are the things which I am just letting that go. Uh, because it's very important. One challenge, and it's relating to my very personal life. Okay. uh, and it can be for a lot of people who are listening to our conversation today. With our parents are from a very different generation. My parents are from a very different generation, because I have a huge age gap between me and my parents. Like, what my parents age is, like, my friends have dada dadi of that age. So it's that huge of a age gap. So there are a lot of things that they don't understand, they don't know. But at the same time, uh, the elders of the family, or in the society, they have their own experiences of life. So when they are saying something, or when you're hearing some people out, when you're listening to some people, there are certain things which might not apply to you with the current day, with the current situation. But at the same time, also differentiating between the experiences, like what the experiences says, and how do you have to accept that thing and go with it. That is something which I'm challenging with. Like, that's one of the challenges I'm facing, because a lot of issues that I would have in my life today is probably about not listening out to people.
So,
And
what I'm hearing is, please, I'm like basically confused, so I'm asking for clarification.
mhm.
Is it that you're saying you don't listen to people as in you're not listening to what they're saying, or is it that you are not applying what you're listening, or you're not listening to their advices, or you are not acting on what they have asked you to do because you're considering their thoughts first?
No, I can listen. I'm just kidding.
In the sense, in the sense, you know,
No, no, my hearing is fine, so yeah, I can listen. I'm
yeah, of
just
course.
kidding.
So you're hearing and it gets missed out,
Yeah.
you know. So is it that you are listening to respond to them, or is it that
Yes,
you
so it's actually the second one. So I'm listening to people, but I am not probably applying it in my life, or I'm just doing what seems okay to me. Um, Now there is a big thing to it. Uh, as much as I am a humble person, but if you do not listen to people, if you do not integrate their ideas into yourself, there is a kind of arrogance that comes into your life.
is it that is it something that you are thinking, or is it something that has been told to you?
Uh, this is something which I am thinking, and also has been. So I'm thinking about it, and somebody mentioned, and I gave it a thought. And the other thing is that, because there's been so many things that I have done in my life, and there's so many challenges I've faced through life. I know where I was 10, 15 years back, and where I am right now, 10, 15 years down the line. I know that, I'm not in the best of my situation, what I plan to be doing 10, 15 years back then, but with so many things, you still get that kind of arrogance, and that is something which I personally I do not like that. Um, because when you are when you don't have any kind of ego arrogance, when you're more humble, when you are a person who is who takes everyone together and the ideas and who walks forward, is that person who has more friends with more people with more ideas.
Mhm.
So that is one thing that I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is if you are listening to people hearing out their thoughts and opinions, but you're not applying what has been shared with you, then there is some kind of an arrogance that gets linked to it,
Yes.
that gets linked to you. Okay.
Yes.
And because of that arrogance, you don't have the set of people or the set of friends that you would have had otherwise.
Yes, or you would actually miss out on a lot of great ideas what the other person is telling you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I see the person who just joined is the person who told this to me very recently.
Hmm.
So yeah, I know that he can hear me speaking about this. So it's just about acknowledging what he told me and what I acknowledged on my end. Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Can I say that I disagree? Of course.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Because everybody has their own opinion and they have their own experiences, and you can disagree.
Absolutely. So, what happens is, what is also inspiring me about you is that you have always explored new things and what felt right to you. You've done what has felt right to you, and that is why you have your unique set of experiences. You have a unique way of looking at life, and it is very different from a lot of people. It's not common, it's not
Mhm.
an everyday thing. Even though you are an everyday person, it's not an everyday thing to do this. And when we are, of course, you will always, now this reminds me of Ye Jawani Hai Diwani Ka line, you will always miss out on something. It's not that you can have all of it, right? So
Yep.
at that point, again, it comes to a choice. Do you want to work on all the great ideas that has ever existed? Or do you want to work on your ideas that feels right to you based on your analysis and your thought process? And it's absolutely important to consider and maybe consider those things that people have shared, those ideas that people have shared in your life, but
Hmm.
your life is different and unique. And if even after listening to those things, even after listening to those things, if you feel that, okay, it's not aligning with me, it's not aligning with my ideas and thought processes, then it's good that you're not going ahead with it because it's better to blame yourself than
Rather
to,
to blame others. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
instead of blaming
So
yourself.
so at the same time, like I completely agree with what you're saying. That absolutely makes sense. And in terms of applying your ideas and having those unique ideas, going through in your life, that's really great. But at the same time, when you stop or you are not actually listening to other people's ideas, it's also about how are you gonna affect your relationship with that people. Now, if that person is somebody who's really close to you, who's being passionately giving you some advice or giving you some tips or certain things, it's also about that. So the whole challenge about it is that balancing it out with that relationship and integrating their ideas and putting in your ideas as well. How to balance that out, that's the whole challenge about.
If they are the people who are so close to you, they know you, they understand you, and even if they are sharing their ideas passionately with
Yes.
you,
Uh-huh.
but they have been with you so far, they know who you are as a person as well. So they will eventually understand that, okay, this person is going to do things how he wants to do it. And in fact, if I look at it from coaching perspective, it is about recognizing what are your values, okay, what are
Hmm.
your core pillars, who you are as
Yes.
a person,
Yes.
aligning your life with it. And if you go on that road, on that journey, people who don't align with you in your life with those values, they are going to fall off how much ever you try to
Yes.
keep them
Yes.
together.
Yes, that's absolutely right, and eventually you will lose those people, and it's that is something which you are going to accept in your life, that this is like what it is. That is it. Like sometimes though those people can be very close to you, they can be your family members as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in the long run, it uh, for quite some time you can do certain things to keep a lot of people happy around you. After a while, it gets more about your own happiness. It gets more about your own peace and your own stability. Like what exactly you want in your life. I can say that, a few years back, I was a person who had no peace in life. I didn't give peace to other people in their lives. I was like, always so fast and, so loud with so many things. But eventually, a few years down the line, I've started to become more calm and quiet and, moving more towards peace. Like, yeah, it's too much, not doing this thing. So after certain age, after certain time, yes, that'll happen to you.
Mm, absolutely.
And
People,
and
yeah. Go ahead, go
and
ahead.
and that is one transformation of your life that will always happen. And I think for every part of my life, every age of my life, I think I have lived it with a lot of justice. I've justified that age, that time of my life, and I have come out of it. So, sometimes people they say that, oh, I miss my school days, my college days. I think I have never said that because I think my school days, my college days, I've definitely enjoyed a lot. I have done a lot of things during that time. When I started to work first, with not a lot of responsibilities on me, and that was a different time that I enjoyed. When you start working, when you start having more money, from your little pocket money to getting so much salaries, you that's a different experience. So I have enjoyed that part. From that, every single point of my life, I have done justice. I have enjoyed all of it. So
Mm,
that is a transformation which will always happen, and I'm definitely not the person who was 10 years back, and I will not be the same person in the next 10 years. In
mm,
fact, somebody very close to me, many years back, they told me, and this is a great example which I can say. The Indian Army, it has a kind of a interview process for the officers. The first you write a CDS exam, that's an examination, and then you go for the SSB interview. That's a 5-day interview. It's believed to be one of the toughest interviews. That interview happens twice a year. So if you pass that interview once, and if you decide not to join, but then you think, oh no, I want to join, I want to still join. So it can't be a thing that you had cleared it already. You can join it again. You will again have to go through that process. Now, what is the reason about it? Because the selection board of the Indian Army or the Defense Forces, they say that a person's personality changes almost every 6 months. So they have to evaluate those changes, what that person was 6 months ago, what he's going to be 6 months later. So every 6 months, a person changes as his personality. So definitely, 10 years is a long time we're talking about.
10 years is absolutely a long time that you're talking about. People were mentioning that they can't hear me. Am I audible now? Am I loud enough now?
I can hear you pretty
You can hear me because
well.
you're wearing your earphones.
Yes.
um, okay, okay. So absolutely. So the transition. So you're saying that you have lived through everything properly. The stage where you've been yourself completely. Okay, I'm still not audible. Okay, you're audible, but the volume is very low. Okay, I'll
Okay.
just try to connect my earphones and then I'll continue
Okay.
talking.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
I
now
don't have the
it's
time
more volume.
between angles. Am I audible?
Yep. Yep. Now the volume is
My
pretty
earphone.
high. No, actually, it's not very perfect. No, I can't hear you now.
Yeah, I can't
I
hear you.
can't hear you.
Okay, anyway, I'll. So you have mentioned that one of your challenges is to um, listen to people, acknowledge their advice, acknowledge what they are sharing with you, and integrate their ideas in your with your ideas as well, and then
Yes.
to move ahead because you want to maintain that relationship with people
Yes.
and have those people right. Okay, so what are you doing, or what do you plan to do in order to work on this particular challenge, or what are the things that you have already considered?
So one very important thing is that when you listen to somebody, the first thing you have to listen is that putting yourself into that person's shoes, like where that person is coming from. Why is that person saying something that he's saying? Like what probably his situation could be, or what his or her mindset would be.
Mm.
Other thing, the second thing you have to understand is that what exactly is that person's intention for you. Now, when I say that what that person's intention for you is, a lot of people would just think, if that person has good intention or bad, it's not about that. It's not about that. Like all that vamp type things happens only in, forget it. In those Saas Bahu serials, right? And that's okay. Uh, when I speak about the intentions, is that so an advice coming from my father would be a little different. An advice coming from my brother would be different. Now, they both are the people who loves me and they have good intention towards me, but they would have a little different point of view, or they would have a different intention. Probably my father would want me to be at a comfortable situation. Probably my brother, he would want me to be at a, it might be a lot of struggle and hard work, but he would might want me to be at a better situation. So that's the intention I'm talking about. That is something you need to understand. Or probably if a friend of mine is telling me something, you need to understand what that person's intention is towards you, or towards the idea that he or she is giving you. So these are the two things that I have started to evaluate with that challenge. Uh, it's not perfect, but yeah, with time, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect or absolute perfect, yeah, kind of strategy. Because when you are able to understand, I'll try to speak louder because I my earphones are also not working properly, I guess. Uh, so this might sound a little odd. Bear
It's
with
okay.
me. Yeah, so absolutely. When you place yourself in somebody else's shoes to see where are they coming from,
Hmm.
why are they saying what they're saying, then your perspective about the particular thing also changes, about the particular project, thought, idea also changes. Okay, this is what they are looking at, and when then you look at the intention as well of the other person. What is the intention behind it? Why are they saying this? What is the reason behind it? And then you also get an opportunity to add that in your analysis as well. So if
Yes,
it is coming
yes,
from your father's point of view, it will be about your safety and security in future, like you said. So you get to add that kind of an element that you are comfortable, eventually you're comfortable in that zone, in that space or not. So it is also about putting yourself in other shoes and understanding what is their intention behind sharing their thoughts and ideas.
Yep.
as well. Yeah, that's lovely. I just had another thought at this. So even after considering the intentions and even after putting yourself in their place, what if those things still don't align with you? Basically, what I'm trying to understand is what is your belief behind that particular idea or thought that is, making you want to go ahead the way you want to?
So, as I previously mentioned, that to a certain extent, you would be. I would try to. So this is something which I'm still working on, right? This is a challenge that I'm still working
Okay.
on. Even after considering so many things, if that thing is still not aligning with you, it's again the second part to the first bigger part is when you're doing your analysis. What is the threshold that you are gonna drop that bomb? How much is acceptable to you? If that is still acceptable, and you can squeeze in those ideas and you can squeeze in those stuff with you, that's fine. But if you cannot, you cannot, and then that's where, like, this is all I could do. This is all I
Okay.
could do.
That seems fair. That seems fair to have a
Yeah.
threshold, to have your boundaries, to have your limits, and to see how much you can squeeze in those ideas where you are comfortable and others are comfortable too, even if you want to go ahead with that idea so that all are feeling good. But there is a threshold, there is a limit that you have added. Like it's like a
because
threshold.
you cannot make everyone happy. There will be people who will not be happy about something. You will hurt some people. Throughout your journey, you will hurt people, and I know that I have hurt so many people in the past, and I might hurt so many people in the future, in the present. And I sincerely apologize to people who I might have hurt, like intentionally or unintentionally. But see, that's the kind of a person I am. Uh, I can try not to hurt people, but either or you would end up hurting someone with something.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That is true. We can't always keep everyone happy. Some people might get hurt, but then
Yes.
that is
Yes.
all we can.
बस इतना ही कर सकते थे हम. That's it.
Okay, so you've shared with us what was your journey like. You've shared with us what are the everyday struggles that you used to face. You've shared with us what are certain things that you're doing in order to overcome this particular struggle of yours, to listen to people, to acknowledge their thoughts and opinions in your ideas as well, so that people are more comfortable, even you are more comfortable with the action that you're taking, so that even you're not questioning yourself, okay, I did this, you're still feeling bad, and things like that. So squeeze in how much ever you can to go ahead
Hmm.
with it. So, Harris, what would you like to tell our audience? Let's begin where in life?
Let's begin where. So I would generally tell people that if you have an idea, if you have something in your mind, I have seen a lot of people just talking about things and discussing about them for years and years and not do it. Uh, just get up and start doing something about it. When you start doing something about it, when you start, sometimes things will be very difficult, very boring maybe, but eventually, right in the beginning, you will have that idea. You'll get that sense, like, where this is going towards. Like, if it's going towards the positive side or the negative side. Very rarely this happens that you're thinking, oh, it's a joyride, everything is going fine, and then eventually it gets into, like, there is a big BMC hole and you get into it. It very, very rarely that thing happens. Whenever you start something, very soon you will have that idea, you will have that sense, that if it's going towards positive thing or negative thing. But the important thing is, like, unless and until you don't get into it, like, just get up and start doing about something. You will know. A very small example, I would say, uh, which I am still trying to do for myself. But say, for example, as a physical workout. Okay, when somebody wants to lose weight or gain muscles or be fit, the first thing what they do is they start doing a lot of research on Google. What are the best exercises, what are the best food that you can eat, and make your diet chart and so many things. People who actually end up doing working out are the ones who are not doing all of this, to be very honest.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, just get up and do it. Like, just get up, go and start working out. When I have felt like when I am working out, uh, sometimes I will feel that, what I'm doing, it's not gonna work. Like, this is not how it's supposed to be done. But sometimes when you're working out, you will know that, okay, this is something which is happening the right way, and this will give the positive results. So the first thing is that do not think much. Do not overthink. Do not overthink and start working on something. During that journey, when you start that, that is the time when you would be in a better situation to make those analysis that I spoke about, those risk analysis that I spoke about, that, if it's how it's going to be. Because theoretically, you would have a lot of knowledge, but practically it becomes very difficult. It becomes very different. Theoretically, it says that eat this, and you'll have a good body. But practically, you're like, "Arey, I'm eating, but nothing is happening." So once you start doing it, that's when you will start to know where you have to go. So that's my place. Let's begin there.
Let's begin there. So let's begin by working on our thoughts instead of just keeping in our minds and not doing anything about it. So whatever ideas you have in your life, whatever goals and aims that you have, just start acting on them, because when you act on them, you will practically realize what is working for you, what is not working for you. And because whatever people are sharing on Google or wherever, even in their experiences, they are sharing, at the end it is their experience. So it's not necessary it is going to work out for you in the exact same manner unless you don't try these things. Yeah.
A very important thing that you said is the people who are sharing things on Google and stuff are the ones who has practically done it.
Yes.
They are not copying pasting it,
True.
right? They have actually done it. They haven't done all that research, and they would definitely go through some research and stuff, but they would
Definitely.
eventually they would actually do it. Like, they have done it, and that's what they have put in there. Do a little research, it's fine. Like, it's all about your enthusiasm, but after that, practically do so certain things.
Mm. Act on your thoughts, guys. Act on your thoughts. That's my
Yes,
one key
yes.
takeaway from this
And
conversation.
I can actually very honestly I can say about two things that I had planned for my life. Since I one thing I had planned when I was like 16, 17 years old, and I never worked on it, and I don't think so it'll happen now ever in my life. uh, I did a lot of planning, a lot of research. Everything I did, I chalked down everything. Like, if I find that book somewhere in my home in India, I might have that whole schedule and everything, but I never acted upon it. 16, 17 years of age, when I was like so many years back. If you don't act on it, it's not gonna happen. There's another thing that I have been telling myself since at least for a few years that I'm gonna start doing this, and every time I'm like, how it's gonna happen? It'll be so difficult. I don't know how I'm gonna manage it, but it's just about just do it. Once you get into something, then you get into that something.
Mm. Yeah, even if you're setting out, like you mentioned, you had your entire routine set, you had a schedule, what you want to do and how you want to
Yes,
do things. But unless you actually apply it, unless you actually start following it, even for a day, you won't know what is working for you, what
yep,
is not working for you. So
yep,
at the end, it goes down to start doing what you are planning to do. Whatever is
yes.
in your head, just put it into action. It's okay to go wrong. It's okay to fail. It's
Yes.
just about starting somewhere at least.
And the most funniest example about this is We all as students, during our 10th grade, 12th grade, or the university final year, we all, like, just 1 or 2 months before the final board exams, we all have, like, we've made that schedule. This time I'll wake up, this time I'll eat my breakfast, this time from this time to this time I'll study, from this time to this time I'll rest, sleep, then again study and stuff. We have just made those schedules. I was a person, I'm like, I'm not even wasting my time making the schedule. I know what I'm gonna do. No point. I'm not gonna insult the schedule. I'm not even making the schedule. You don't follow that schedule, right? Nobody does. So it's the
Because we
only.
end up, bashing ourselves with it. We become critical. Oh, I couldn't even do this. So we are already stressed that we have to
Yes,
study for the exams and prepare. And then we are adding another stress. Oh, I did not follow my routine. Oh, this is happening. That is happening.
yes.
Mhm.
Where the one thing was about all these things, about all. So you actually mentioned about self bashing yourself.
Mm.
um, you also need to be very careful about the people you surround yourself with. Are they positive people or are they negative people? It's not that, they're good or bad people, but I had a set of friends. Whenever I would sit with them, whenever I would have conversations with them, they were always talking about ideas, creativity, and about certain businesses, or about positive things, and so many developmental skills they would talk about. And then I also had a set of friends with whom I would try to discuss certain things, and they would always pick out negative things out of it, and they would discourage or demotivate you. That's a very important thing, that you need to understand what are the people you are surrounding yourself with. If you have negative people in your life, you will be stressed out, you will be upset. Don't let other people stress you out, or make you upset in your life. So always have positive people around you. Always do that. And it doesn't mean that, if you have certain people who are like that and they are your friends, I'm not saying that, just be like, I'm not answering your call, you're not my friend anymore. Don't do that. Be nice, be respectful to them. um, just have a very different kind of conversation with these people. Do not have a conversation with them about your life, about your goals and aspirations. Have a different.
Uh, Hi, Harris, are you there? Hi. Yeah, you're back. I don't know if it was my network or your network.
Yes, I don't know, but for some reason now I can hear you much better.
Oh, I'm glad. Okay, then everyone can. So it was not my issue.
Yeah.
It was the internet or Instagram. Okay, anyway. So yes, it is about the people that you surround yourself with, and it is not that if you have negative people, just
Yes.
cut off with them, but have different kind of conversations so that because if some people who are surrounded by negative people or people who generally tend to look at negative things, maybe just to be sure of certain things to avoid any kind of failure. So for whatever reasons, just to safeguard themselves, if you are not strong enough, something that you had mentioned initially at the very beginning of today's call, if you are not mentally strong, the thoughts can affect you directly. So even though you are at a place where you feel, yeah, this is doable, you can do it, and you're actually about to work on it, but then there are
Hmm.
people who come and walk into your life and just say, oh, no, have you considered this? No, you're not going to do that. Oh, okay. And that will probably pull
Yeah.
you back if you're not strong enough. So it's okay to have negative people around who look at things differently, negatively, because if you have not assessed those kind of risks, it will allow you to look at things. But you need to have that kind of a perspective to not get demotivated because of those thoughts. Instead, see if whatever they say is going to happen, then what you're going to do. It's like adding another aspect to
Yep.
your risk analysis.
Yes. Yes. It's a very simple thing. For me, if somebody comes to me and asks me for an advice, I would not tell them that I'm not going to question their things. I will never question their things. I would ask them what are they planning about, and if I have some good ideas and some good feedback to give them, I would give it to them, which would help them improvise with what they're thinking. But I would not question their ideas to demotivate them, because if there is somebody who's trying to get up and do something, i would I would motivate that person to, yes, get up and do something. Like, even if I might know that, this will not work or something, who knows? The future is so uncertain. Probably that is something which didn't work for me, it might work for somebody else.
Exactly, absolutely. And sometimes those people, all they need is a little push that comes through your
Yes.
advice or motivation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely. So, know what are the kind of people you are surrounding yourself with and take that action. Go ahead and whatever the plans and ideas were in your mind, all that you've researched about, the schedules that you've made, start acting on them, even if they are not 100%, even if it is just 10 or 20% so far. And if it is at low risk, then definitely go ahead and do it because
Yes.
you have nothing to lose but only experiences to gain and learn from.
Yes. Yes. Experiences, pure. So at the end, I would tell people, and this is what I tell myself, is that when I grow old, when I have grandchildren, I would have real life stories to tell them.
Yes, you already
Yes.
do. Yeah. Yeah, and that is so important to be able to share these stories, right? It was
Yes.
so fun to learn from you, and I am inspired to actually take up and work on the things that I have planned in my head because there are like literally my whiteboard in front of me is full of things that I need to work on, but I haven't. So I am taking that inspiration from you today to just start
So
acting on them in whatever ways possible. Just one small step,
yes,
act on
yes,
them.
yes, and
Hmm.
prioritize them. Like, prioritize. Like,
Yes.
uh, this is something somebody told me many years back. Was that give importance to the priorities. Do not prioritize the things that are important to you.
Okay, no, you'll have to say that again. Okay.
So give importance to things that are priorities in your life. Do
Okay.
not
Okay.
do not uh, prioritize the things that are important to you in your life.
Okay. So, okay. So,
It's
have
a
I
little
understood this
complicated.
right once
Yeah,
again?
it's a little complicated thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it is about give importance to your priorities. So,
Yes.
you already have some priorities and give importance to it instead of prioritizing what is important to you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll explain you how it works. Um, so if you have a list of 10 different things to do, okay, they have to happen in a priority level. Like, this is the topmost priority, and this one. Now there is something which is like at number 4 or number 5, which is very
Yeah.
important to you, okay, which is very
Okay.
important to you, but
Yeah.
it has to happen a little later. Do not give all importance to that thing.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
when you are prioritizing things, go in that order. Like, give
Hmm.
importance to your priorities. Like, what are the things? But if you start uh, giving importance, if you start prioritizing your important things, then that's kind of a mess. Then you're like, oh, now, if because I was focusing so much on this thing, the other priority things that were supposed to be done, that's left out, and eventually they are also important to you in your
Hmm.
life.
Yeah. Wow. No, I will take my own sweet time to process it completely.
Yes,
But
I
it
I took
definitely
I
makes
I
sense.
took I took many years to understand this thing. the first time, the first time somebody told this to me, I laughed on his face. I was like, "What are you saying?" Like, जो तू बोल रहा है वो तेरे दिमाग से connect भी हो रहा है. That's what I told that person.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling, but when you
Yes,
get it, you get it.
yes,
And
yes. When
I
you get
just
it,
have a
you get it.
feeling, I just have a feeling that at one point in my life, I will reach a stage and I will be like, this is what he meant. This is exactly what Harris was talking about. It is about don't.
Uh,
Um, okay, have I forgotten it already? One second. Don't prioritize the things that are important to you, but don't
I'll I'll I'll
prioritize.
I'll I'll
Yeah.
write it and I'll send it to you. But the best
Mm,
example I would tell you, which might help you understand a few things, is for a mother. Okay, for her mother, the most important thing would be her children.
mm.
Uh, Say, for example, her child is sick and the child wants to hug her and cuddle her. Now, that's the most important thing for her to do, right? But as per her priority list, she has to cook, clean, feed the kid, right? If she just goes and starts, hugging and cuddling the kid and, trying to make him comfortable, that's the most important thing to do. But she also has to cook, clean, feed the kid, and then do it. So that's the order. Like it's a very vague example, but I just try to
Yeah.
give a good example.
Yeah. It is a good example. Just that I would expect the mother to first hug and cuddle, maybe for 5 minutes, and then go and do your job. Please, the child needs you.
No,
Emotional support, please.
I would be like that. Cook food for the kid, come feed the kid, put the food away, and then hug and cuddle the kid and put the kid to sleep.
See, because what happens is, if you just give 5 minutes there, right? See, if you
No,
just
what will
give
happen?
5 minutes.
What will happen? I'll tell you that if you give that 5 minutes, the kid will go off to sleep, and then you will be like, "Eat, eat, wake up! You have to eat food."
But then cooking takes good 45 minutes to 1 hour. But if you just go away to do the other chores at that time, which are important too, the child will end up feeling, okay, I'm not important to my mother. That means I'm not important. And it will lead to a lot of
No, no, no.
problems. Uh-huh.
Well, okay,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. So this was a very poor example I used. This is a very poor example I used.
Mm, yeah.
But this was just to give that example. But
I get it.
anyways, I'm
Okay.
not literally getting into that thing.
No, I did imagine it that way. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no, the child is not going to feel nice. Okay, anyway, yeah, we can skip that. It was just an example, and I've understood
Yep.
it clearly. What feels most important to you, but you need to follow the priority list first. Otherwise, you might end up repenting that you did
Yes.
not give enough
Yes.
time where it was
Yes.
needed. I get it.
Yes.
I get it, but I will fully actualize this particular learning when it happens. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Harris. How are you feeling towards the end of the
Thank you.
session, being the everyday game changer?
I feel good, very positive. A lot of things that we've spoken today, other things also a refresher for me. This thing I said in the beginning of our conversation that, give time some time. And I generally have a lot of problem of being, having patience. I
Mm,
want to get quickly in my life to another place, but this is again a refresher to me that give time some time, and with the right time, right things will happen. Certain things, if they are destined to happen at a certain time, it will happen only then. It will not happen before that. Like कितने ही
absolutely.
घोड़े दौड़ा लो वो नहीं होना नहीं होना. It will not happen. So yeah, that's a refresher to me as well. And yeah, I feel good. Talking about everyday challenges, the first challenge was like waking up early on Sunday morning.
Oh, I'm so sorry I made you do
No,
that.
no, 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 no. I didn't wake up early. I'm sorry. I'm actually just lying. I didn't wake up early. I woke up half an hour before this started.
It's okay. It's all right. You
Yeah.
deserve to sleep until 12 p.m. on Sundays. It's all right.
Oh, oh, they are the long gone days. It doesn't happen anymore. When you are single and bachelor, that can happen. Once you're married, no, it doesn't happen anymore.
It's just been 15 days, Harris. Just 15 days, okay?
Yeah, like it's the married life is 15 days, but I know that I have stopped sleeping until 12, 1 or 2 on the weekends. I think many months back since the whole wedding thing started,
Mm.
because every weekend we were shopping. There was a point when I was so happy that all her shopping is done, and she's like, "What? Why are you being so happy? Your shopping is remaining." I'm like, "Damn."
I can sleep now.
Oh God. So. Well, but it's a very nice thing. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
journey.
yeah.
When you have a beautiful wife, everything's good.
I haven't seen her. I want to see her picture. She's not on your profile. Why is she not on your profile? I want to see her.
She is on my profile. I'm at her place right now, but she's somewhere. I don't know where she is. Uh, hmm. But yeah, definitely she's
Okay.
not gonna show up herself right now on live.
I
But
would
yeah,
like
she.
to see her photo though, yeah. Send me a
I'll send
picture
you her
if she
picture.
doesn't mind.
I'll send.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you her picture. Divya actually happened to speak to her last Friday. So we guys went on a drive, and Divya called me up. She did a video call, and my wife, she started talking to her, and then Divya, she kept on talking to her. That was very nice. So Divya got to see
Yeah,
her that
after
day.
that, your wife will not want to talk to me.
No, 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 no. Oh well. But Divya is a very lovely person. I understand her the best because I've been her friend for so many years, and a very, very lovely, charming personality. She is one person who brings a lot of positivity in your life.
Yes.
For the things that she has done in her life, the way she has handled herself, that's very great. Every time you speak to her, there is a positive vibe that comes from. Forget about her ideas. Her ideas can be damn stupid and insensible, anything. And I can say that because she's my best friend. But she still brings that she comes up with a lot of energy every time. You speak to her at
Yeah.
like 9 in the morning, you speak to her like 9 in the evening. She's got that same
Yeah, she's
energy.
like a fresh dose of espresso.
Yes,
The booster that
absolutely.
you need. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
True. Yeah, I'm gonna record this part and gift her. It's her birthday in like a few hours.
Oh,
So,
nice.
like, see, I did that for you. Enjoy.
Okay. So I didn't
Yeah.
know that you can actually record this live thingy.
Oh yeah, it is going to get uploaded on IGTV. So the whole
Oh,
thing will
nice.
stay on the feed. Yeah, and
Oh,
in the
nice.
caption I will note down the key takeaways, a few
Okay.
pointers that you've mentioned that people should know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Excellent. Perfect.
excellent.
This is the first time I have gone live. Until now, I
Mhm.
just saw people going live.
Mhm.
So it feels good. Nice.
I'm glad you feel good and you did exceptionally well. Did not feel like you're doing it for the first time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas and wisdom and all the positive things that you've shared with us. And it is definitely about taking in the actions, working on your thoughts, and not only keeping it in your mind and then surrounding yourself with positive people. And yeah, believing in yourself and having this strong mindset. And
Yes,
most
absolutely.
importantly, giving time some time.
Yes. And before going off, I would just say one last thing is that before you try something, you have nothing to lose. Like if you're trying to achieve something, and if you don't get it, anyways, it wasn't yours. But
Yes,
if you actually, but
absolutely.
if you actually try, if you give that fight, probably you might achieve it. And the best example, the current situation, best example is Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal.
Yeah. How?
Bec-
So are you saying
Look,
Vicky Kaushal just tried and he got lucky? Is that what you're saying?
okay, see, Katrina Kaif is my biggest crush in my life. Okay, like for Katrina Kaif, मैं Katrina Kaif को छोड़ सकता हूँ. Like that much I like her. And when I see that she's getting married to Vicky Kaushal, like the way he looks, I'm not being any whatever. But when you look at Vicky Kaushal and when you look at Katrina Kaif, you're like, यार Vicky Kaushal सी करी थी फिर तो मैं ही better था यार.
I wonder if
मतलब
that is what people are saying about you and your wife.
aha. Well, they can say that, but at the end of the day, she acknowledges, and I also acknowledge that I actually put in efforts. I got up, I worked towards it, and that's why she's my wife today. So that's the
Good
whole thing over
job.
there.
Your
Yes.
efforts have got you here where you are today. Good job, Harris.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we know how Vicky Kaushal landed with Katrina Kaif. So
Hmm.
pooch dala to like jinga lala, so act on your thoughts.
Yes. It was great, great talking to you. Very nice. It was a very nice conversation. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming here. I think I have interacted the most on this particular live conversation. Like I've shared my thoughts and opinions as well, more than I usually do. I had a
Hmm.
great time over here. Thank you so much for being our
Thank you.
21st everyday game changer on our show. Let's begin there
Thank
and
you.
sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Alrighty.
I will connect with you on WhatsApp now. Bye, Harris.
Okay. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Signing
And
off.
lovely audience. Yes, lovely audience. You
Yes.
can watch this entire thing again if you have missed out any aspects. It is going to go live on. I will post this as Instagram, IGTV on Instagram within 15 minutes. So you can watch it then. Okay. With that, Tata bye bye. We will be back again with our 22nd everyday game changer next Sunday. And I will see you there. Bye.